Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Persona, the dark truth behind personality tests. And this is a new documentary from CNN Films that's released on HBO Max. And like many of the CNN documentaries that I've seen, this isn't an earth-shattering documentary. It definitely feels like this is like a TV kind of documentary, but it's very interesting. So from the beginning, it feels like one of those, it has the feel of something that isn't like a high-class cinematic kind of documentary. And you're like, okay, this probably isn't going to be the most earth-shattering documentary, but it's very intriguing in terms of the things that it focuses on. Because who hasn't done the Myer-Briggs personality test? I, for the longest time, was an INTJ, took it again. Probably within the past couple years, I was an INFJ. And we all care so much about this because, like the documentary says, we like to talk about ourselves and think about ourselves. And this is basically what you would do with people thinking about astrology. And it's the same basic idea, except you have this mother-daughter, the Briggs-Myers, who put this test together. And so many people put so much weight into it. And that's interesting. What the documentary focuses on is like people hire people based off of this little test. And yeah, it could be interesting to look at the different categories you fall under, but the documentary dives into like this is oversimplification. It's not something that should be used. And like there's not like hard psychology that goes into what this actually is. It's more of like, that kind of idea of like astrology. A lot of people are into it and they like seeing what they come out as. It's the same reason why people love doing Pottermore and which house they're going to come out in and sharing those kinds of things. And the documentary dives in deeper into how it's used to discriminate against people for hiring purposes. It's used to judge people on if they have like mental illness or not, anxiety disorders, how it's very discriminatory because this is really just focused on white people. And this documentary does a nice job of diving into all these different kinds of personalities and looking at the biases and the holes in the logic of how this test works. And it gives you the backstory and the history of how this test came about. And this is an hour and 25 minutes of interesting documentary. It's not something particularly special in the way that it's put together or told, but it's something that sheds a light on something that a lot of people find relevant that probably shouldn't be focusing so much on. And I definitely think this is something that's worth checking out for everybody and really making you think, how much weight do we really put into these personality tests? Because how truthful are they? Or how representative are they really of who we are as people? So this is definitely one of those documentaries that'll have you thinking and maybe thinking about your perspective on things like this. So, it's a short time of taking advantage of this for like an hour and 25 minutes. This isn't like it's the Snyder Cut that's going to be 4 hours and you have to really commit to that. So hop on to HBO Max, check out this documentary, and comment, and let's talk about it. But those are my thoughts on Persona. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.